Tonight, we're learning more about a woman allegedly murdered by her Uber driver. In the days since her body was found on Indy's northeast side, IMPD now says they've managed to track down the suspect. Our Chase Howell has been working on this story all day and learned the man accused of killing her told police two different stories.
As Risa Dixon lights her cigarette, she begins to cry when thinking about her daughter, Chanti.
My heart is saying that she's going to walk through the door, say, "Hey, Mama, what y'all doing?" That's what my heart's saying, but I know she not gonna physically walk through the door.
This is a family that's been ripped apart. This woman is gone from the world unnecessarily.
Women, girls, mothers, they have a right to exist freely in our community without fear of something heinous happening to them. They have a right to walk, bike, order a ride share without fearing something bad will happen to them.
Every single night, millions of us step into a stranger's car. We punch in an address, tap a button, and trust that a simple ride will deliver us safely home. But what if that trust, that fundamental expectation of safety, becomes the very thing that shatters a life? Have you ever felt that flicker of unease getting into a car with someone you don't know? Or perhaps, as a late-night worker, the simple, desperate need to get home safely is a constant thought, a silent prayer. In Indianapolis, a working mother's need for a ride home after a long shift became the stage for an unspeakable act of violence. Her name was Chanti Dixon. She was 30 years old, a devoted mother of two, and on one September morning, she made a decision that millions make every day. She called for an Uber. What happened next would send shockwaves through her community and expose the terrifying reality that sometimes the person behind the wheel isn't just a stranger, they're a predator. This isn't just another true crime story. This is a stark reminder that evil can hide behind a 5-star rating and a familiar app logo. It's about how a routine trip home transformed into a brutal murder, and how a mother's final moments revealed the monster she unknowingly trusted with her life. You're about to hear the disturbing details of Chanti Dixon's last ride, a journey that should have taken her safely to her children, but instead led to unimaginable horror. Francisco Valadez, her 29-year-old Uber driver, wasn't just taking her home. He had darker intentions, and what he confessed to police will leave you questioning every rideshare you've ever taken. But this story isn't just about the evil that exists in our world. It's about a vibrant woman whose life was cut short, a family destroyed, and the urgent lessons we all need to learn about the hidden dangers lurking in plain sight. But before we dive deeper into Chanti's heartbreaking story, I need your help spreading awareness that could save lives. If you believe every woman, every mother, every person deserves to feel safe when they're just trying to get home, then hit that like button right now. Subscribe to True Crime Tales HQ and turn on post notifications so you never miss our stories that honor victims and educate viewers about real dangers. But most importantly, share this video. Share it with your friends, your family, especially the women in your life who use rideshares. Chanti's story contains warning signs that everyone needs to know. Your share could be the difference between someone staying safe and becoming the next victim. Now let me tell you about the remarkable woman whose life was stolen that September night. Chanti Dixon was more than just a name in a police report. She was a vibrant force, a 30-year-old Indianapolis woman whose world revolved around her two young children, a 13-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. Her family and neighbors described her as a ball of life, radiating fun and generosity. She was the kind of person who would put herself in difficult positions just to help her friends out. As her mother, Rise Dixon, fondly recalled, Chanti was the eldest, a devoted protector and provider. She'd always be like, "Ma, you're my best friend." And I'm like, "Girl, yeah, I know, and you're my best friend." Those words would later echo with heartbreaking poignancy. Chanti worked grueling late-night shifts as a dancer at a local strip club, a job she undertook with singular focus to support her kids. Every dollar earned, every late hour endured was for them. There was no shame in her work, only determination. She was building a life, stitch by stitch, for the people she loved most. She'd recently moved into a quiet Southeast Side neighborhood, keeping largely to herself. Her days were a tireless juggle of work and family. Even her pet dog was doted on as another beloved member of her small, precious world. Friends say you couldn't miss her presence because she was going to let you know when she came through the door with her signature, "Hey y'all." Chanti Dixon wasn't seeking fame or fortune. She wasn't living a high-risk lifestyle or making dangerous choices. She was simply a working mother, doing whatever it took to provide for her children. Her sister would later describe her as so selfless, someone who would show love to everyone around her. Every evening as darkness fell, she would prepare for work, the routine of familiar comfort. Every shift followed the same rhythm: work hard, call for a ride, and head home to her children. It was a pattern of responsibility, of dedication, of love. But on one fateful morning, that simple routine was brutally interrupted, forever silencing the laughter and love of Chanti Dixon.
September 7th, 2024 faded into the early hours of September 8th, and Chanti was ready to come home. Around 3:30 a.m., as her late shift ended, she did what millions do every single day. She opened the Uber app on her phone. A routine transaction, a trusted service. She just needed to get home. She just needed to be safe. The app showed her everything she expected to see. A driver's name, Francisco Valadez. A photo. A 5-star rating. A blue BMW with an Indiana license plate. All the digital reassurances that modern technology promises us. The system was working exactly as designed, connecting a passenger who needed a ride with a driver ready to provide one. At 3:34 a.m., the request was confirmed. Francisco Valadez, 29 years old, was on his way to pick up Chanti Dixon. To her, he was just another face on a screen, another stranger in the gig economy who would help her complete her nightly routine. To him, she was something else entirely. According to the data records that would later become crucial evidence, Chanti's ride included one stop before heading to a final destination, her apartment complex on Wagner Lane. She even tipped Valadez $5 through the app, a small gesture of appreciation for what she believed was safe passage home. But while Chanti saw an ordinary transaction, Valadez saw an opportunity. While she was thinking about getting home to her children, he was harboring dark intentions that would turn her routine ride into a nightmare. The very technology that was supposed to protect her, the GPS tracking, the driver verification, the digital trail, would instead become the evidence that would later convict her killer. As the BMW pulled up to her workplace that September morning, Chanti Dixon had no way of knowing she was stepping into the car with a predator. She had no way of knowing that the man behind the wheel had already decided her fate. She climbed into what should have been safety, but was instead a trap. That was the last time anyone saw Chanti Dixon alive, but it wasn't the end of her story. It was the beginning of a nightmare that would horrify an entire community. Monday morning, September 9th, dawned with an eerie silence. Chanti never came home. No calls, no texts, just a deafening absence where her vibrant presence should have been. Her family, filled with growing dread, knew something was terribly wrong. Chanti always checked in. She always made sure her children knew she was safe. The silence was screaming. Her mother, Rise Dixon, didn't hesitate. She filed a missing person report with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. Hours ticked by, each one stretching the anxiety into unbearable fear. The police launched their search, but even as they worked, an entirely separate call would soon crack the case wide open and irrevocably crush a family's last sliver of hope. Later that Monday afternoon, around 1 p.m., officers responded to a horrifying discovery. In a secluded wooded area near Wagner Lane on the city's southeast side, behind a concrete barrier, lay a body. The scene was a testament to unspeakable violence. When the identity was confirmed, it sent a cold shockwave through the hearts of Chanti's loved ones and across the entire community. It was Chanti Dixon. The scene painted a picture of unimaginable brutality. Chanti's body was found naked, with a fatal gunshot wound to the head and multiple other injuries. This was no accident, no robbery gone wrong. This was a calculated, brutal murder. 2 cell phones belonging to Chanti were recovered at the scene, standing as pieces of a puzzle that would soon expose a chilling truth. But here's what makes this discovery even more heartbreaking. Chanti's body was found just yards away from her own apartment. She was so close to home, so close to safety, so close to her children who were waiting for her return. The concrete barrier that had hidden her body was practically in her backyard, a cruel reminder of how close she came to making it home that night. Detectives immediately knew they were dealing with foul play, a crime driven by a motive far darker than simple robbery. The positioning of the body, the state in which she was found, the location itself, everything pointed to a predator who had targeted Chanti specifically, someone who had access to her, someone who knew exactly where she lived. What kind of monstrous act could lead to such a brutal end for a devoted mother? Who could commit such evil against a woman who was simply trying to get home safely? The horror of the crime demanded answers, and fast. But how do you find someone who vanishes into the night after a seemingly ordinary rideshare trip? The answer lay in the very technology that had failed to protect Chanti, but would ultimately deliver justice. Detectives knew they were facing a cold-blooded killer, but the key to unlocking this nightmare was hidden in plain sight: the digital footprint of what should have been Chanti's last ordinary ride. Investigators moved with urgent precision. Chanti's final ride was easily traced through Uber's records and GPS data. Every ping, every turn, every stop was recorded in digital detail. The last known person to see her alive was the driver who had picked her up, Francisco Valadez. The same man who had received her $5 tip was now the prime suspect in her murder. By the very next morning, September 10th, less than 24 hours after Chanti's body was discovered, homicide detectives had located Valadez at his home on the northeast side of Indianapolis. The speed of this identification should have been reassuring, proof that technology could deliver swift justice. But what they discovered next would reveal just how calculating and depraved this killer really was. When questioned, Valadez's story shifted like sand beneath the weight of evidence. He first claimed he'd dropped Chanti off safely at her apartment, that nothing unusual had happened during their ride. But when pressed further, his narrative began to crumble. Next, he spun an elaborate lie. Chanti had been robbed at gunpoint by an unknown black man who shot her in the thigh. He claimed he had witnessed this attack, even called the police non-emergency line to report hearing gunshots. He said he'd already cleaned blood out of his car because of the incident. But detectives weren't fooled. Cell phone records, vehicle GPS logs, and nearby surveillance footage all painted a vastly different picture. The evidence screamed that Valadez had never dropped Chanti off at her apartment. His car's GPS showed he had driven to the exact location where her body was found. His phone record showed no call to police until after he was contacted for questioning. When investigators spoke to Valadez's mother, who he lived with, she revealed a crucial detail. Her son regularly carried a gun and had recently left it in his vehicle after cleaning it. The weapon was right there, available, deadly. Cornered by irrefutable digital evidence, Valadez was brought to the IMPD homicide office. There, facing the mountain of proof against him, his facade of lies finally collapsed. When detectives revealed that Chanti had been shot in the head, not the thigh as he had claimed, Valadez's resistance cracked. "Okay, I shot her in the head," he reportedly admitted to police. But even this confession was wrapped in deception. First, he claimed self-defense, saying Chanti had attacked him while he was driving. Then came another lie, that she had laughed at his body, making him angry enough to kill.
But the truth that finally emerged was far more disturbing than even his lies, revealing the mind of a predator whose depravity knew no bounds. Under relentless questioning, Francisco Valadez finally broke his silence and admitted to the unspeakable. According to court documents, he confessed that after picking up Chanti Dixon, he had tried to proposition her for sex, offering her money in exchange. When she refused and allegedly mocked him, Valadez flew into a murderous rage. In a chilling admission that would stun even seasoned investigators, Valadez revealed he was a 29-year-old virgin who had seen Chanti as an opportunity to change that. When she rejected his advances and laughed at him, his fragile ego couldn't handle the humiliation, so he did the unthinkable. He shot Chanti Dixon in the back of the head while she sat in his car. But the horror didn't end with murder. After killing Chanti, Valadez coldly dragged her body from his vehicle and dumped it behind the concrete barrier like discarded trash. Then, in an act of depravity that defies comprehension, he confessed to attempting to sexually assault Chanti's lifeless body. This wasn't a crime of passion or a robbery gone wrong. This was calculated evil. Valadez had used his position as an Uber driver, a role that required trust, to prey on a vulnerable woman. He had turned what should have been a safe space into a death trap. Who was Francisco Valadez? To his neighbors, he appeared unremarkable. He lived with his mother, drove for Uber to make money, and seemed to blend into the background of ordinary life. But beneath that mundane exterior lurked a predator whose sexual frustration and entitlement had festered into something monstrous. The question that haunts this case is how someone capable of such evil could pass Uber's background screening process. How did a man with the capacity for murder and sexual violence slip through the cracks of a system designed to protect passengers? What red flags were missed? What warning signs went unnoticed? By September 10th, less than 48 hours after Chanti's body was discovered, Valadez was officially in custody. His booking photo shows a man eerily calm, his demeanor a stark contrast to the monstrous acts he had confessed to committing. As news of Valadez's arrest spread, Chanti's community struggled to comprehend how such evil could have struck so close to home. News of Chanti Dixon's murder sent shockwaves of grief and disbelief through her neighborhood and beyond. Neighbors remembered her as a quiet, kind woman, fiercely devoted to her children, someone who never caused trouble and had just moved into the area barely a week before her death. Quote, "It affects us a lot because now we don't know," one neighbor told reporters. "Most of the girls out here are single moms. Some of them come in late at night. It's disturbing to know that it's not even safe to come home anymore." The randomness of the crime struck deep fear into the hearts of other women, especially those who worked late shifts and relied on rideshare services for safe transportation. If it could happen to Chanti, a responsible mother just trying to get home, it could happen to anyone. But amid the fear and grief, the community rallied around Chanti's memory. A candlelight vigil brought neighbors, friends, and strangers together in shared sorrow. People who had never met Chanti came to honor her life and support her devastated family. Balloons were released into the evening sky as her mother, Rise Dixon, watched through tears. Quote, I was just glad to see that she could physically see the love one more time. That's what I was glad to see, because I know she's here and she's watching, so she got to see us give her love one more time, Rise Dixon said of the vigil. A GoFundMe organized by Chanti's sister raised money for the care of her now motherless children, a heartbreaking reminder of the innocent lives forever changed by one man's evil actions. This tragedy sparked urgent conversations about rideshare safety, forcing everyone to confront an uncomfortable truth. The systems we trust to protect us aren't foolproof, and our safety ultimately depends on our own vigilance. Law enforcement officials quickly used Chanti's case to highlight crucial rideshare safety measures that could save lives. IMPD Assistant Chief Catherine Cummings delivered a powerful message, quote,
Women, girls, mothers, they have a right to exist freely in our community without fear of something heinous happening to them. They have a right to walk, bike, order a ride share without fearing something bad.
But rights and reality don't always align. Chanti's mother, Rise Dixon, channeling her unimaginable pain into protective wisdom, urged other passengers to take precautions. Quote, if you're in the rideshare, get on FaceTime with somebody. Take self-defense classes. Here are the safety protocols that could save your life. Always verify the vehicle's license plate matches the app exactly. Don't just look for the right color or model. Ask the driver to confirm your name before getting in. Never tell them your name first. Share your trip details with trusted contacts using the app's built-in features. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, ask to be let out immediately. Watch for red flags. Drivers who seem overly interested in your personal life, take unexpected routes, make inappropriate comments, or show signs of impairment. If your driver's behavior changes suddenly or they become aggressive, don't hesitate to call 911. Most importantly, stay alert. Don't wear headphones, avoid excessive alcohol, and keep your phone charged. Your awareness could be the difference between a safe arrival and becoming another victim.
While these safety measures are crucial, the question of justice for Chanti Dixon was just beginning. Francisco Valadez now faces the full weight of the legal system. He has been charged with felony murder, attempted rape, and attempted abuse of a corpse, charges that carry severe penalties and reflect the heinous nature of his crimes. On Monday, September 16, 2024, Valadez appeared in court and pleaded not guilty to all charges, a plea that stands in stark contrast to his detailed confessions to police. The judge denied him bond, ensuring he remains locked away in Marion County Jail as the case proceeds through the courts. This decision reflects both the severity of his alleged crimes and the risk he poses to public safety. Police Chief Chris Bailey called the killing disgusting all around and emphasized that it did not have to happen. His words capture the senseless nature of this tragedy, a life taken not for money, not in self-defense, but because of one man's twisted entitlement and rage. Uber immediately banned Valadez from their platform and issued a statement saying their hearts break for Dixon's family. They pledged full cooperation with the police investigation, but questions remain about how their screening process failed to detect someone capable of such violence. The legal battle ahead will seek to deliver justice for Chanti, but no verdict can undo the damage. No sentence can bring back a devoted mother or heal the trauma inflicted on her children. The courts can only ensure that Valadez pays the price for his monstrous actions and hopefully prevent him from ever harming anyone else. As we reach the end of Chanti's story, her legacy demands more than just justice. It demands action. Chanti Dixon's murder is a tragic, gut-wrenching reminder that violence can strike anywhere, even in the most ordinary moments of our lives. Her death has left her family, especially her 2 children, navigating an unimaginable grief that will last forever. But her story doesn't have to end in darkness.
Her mother's words echo as both a tribute and a challenge. If y'all want to remember her, y'all get a heart. Y'all get a heart and show the love, because that's what she would have wanted, and that's what she would have gave. Chanti's story isn't just a grim recounting of events. It's a vital, painful lesson for us all. It underscores the critical importance of situational awareness, trusting your instincts, verifying every detail of your rideshare, and advocating for stronger safety measures across all platforms. Share this story. Make others aware. Let Chanti's tragedy serve as a shield for someone else. Her light was extinguished too soon, but her story can illuminate the path to safety for countless others. May her memory serve as a catalyst for a safer world, one ride at a time. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and never forget Chanti Dixon.